What's up, Champions fam? It's Zeke 410 back with a brand new WWE Champions video, and we are here today with the overall review for August 2020's SummerSlam Party MLC. Now, right out of the gate, before the official launch of the contest, we had gotten the blog updated for Champions, letting us know who was going to be the next pair of champions that we were going to be working towards and building up throughout that month. So, we got another mixed match tandem here. For our free-to-play unit for this MLC, we got modern era trickster Carmella, the Princess of Staten Island. And for our Prize World Chase champion, we got Shawn Michaels, Ruthless Aggression Striker, the show stopper. Now, at first, I was a little bit hesitant on this tandem, but at the end of the day, when I saw the exclusive gameplay for both of them, I was like, both of these units are must-haves for any roster. Carmella, in my opinion, is hands down one of the very best free-to-play units, free-to-play waifus in the entire game. No way around that. She brings such utility towards any roster and such versatility for any type of setup or opposition that she is worth taking all the way up even after the conclusion of this MLC. She is viable from 2-star to 3-star to 4-star, and when she gets to 5-star, it's just a monster unleashed, and she is just going to help out so many accounts, especially if you're free to play. She was definitely a unit that everyone should have invested in, no matter how high you got her. She was worth it all, hands down, without a doubt, in my opinion. And when it came to the Chase champion and Shawn, already out of the gate, you already knew he was going to be hitting like a truck because he is a striker. Yeah, the health pool might be a little bit low, but that gem damage is going to be hitting mighty high. And then if you were able to walk away with his gear, we're going to talk about that gear a little bit later, but if you were able to get him and you got his gear, this dude was just a cycling machine and just a boss. I love the representation of both of these characters in game, both of these superstars for what they've done during their periods of time within the ropes. And at first, like I said, I was hesitant, but after seeing that gameplay from the Broskis, thanks to Scopely loaning them out beforehand, I was impressed. You had my attention. So Carmella as a free-to-play, even after this MLC concludes, if you were able to get her, I would invest in her as much as possible. If you need a solid waifu or if you need a solid trickster, she definitely answers the call and she will not let you down. And that's not even talking about having perks and straps and medals involved. Right out of the gate, she's going to help you. And then if you were able to walk away with Shawn, true benefit, going to be helping you out with mad content, difficult parts on different tours, and going to be just hitting hard in all types of content when it comes to the game overall. So 2 solid units, both for free to play and the chase, and nothing more can be said to enforce that. Definitely solid picks. Now, following that, we got our first contest with the Beth and Bayley, where we saw Beth Phoenix the Glamazon, Ruthless Aggression Powerhouse, enter the game. And I, being a huge fan of Beth, was definitely happy to see this. And they put some more respect on Bayley's name, because not only did we get a chance at recruiting Beth at 3-star gold, or working with our faction mates to get her at 4-star, they decided to up the ante and give a fuse up option to Bayley all the way to 4-star silver. Now, what was cool about this was there were many opportunities here to walk away with shards of Bayley so you could get her fuse to 4-star silver. And on top of that, we had a cool little lockbox situation, and you had some double dip action here. You had solo contest rewards and you have faction contest rewards. So you got points for doing your part, and you also got rewards for not only just doing your part of the work, but from everybody else's contributions during this contest duration. Now, there was a little, obstacle along the way, because we did run into a little situation where a certain group of people took advantage of a bug via game, in game, and things happen, okay? Some people capitalize, some people don't, and I don't want to dive into it, but ultimately, it did, set some people back. But nonetheless, this was a very solid contest. A lot of champion waifus got certain crazy boosts, like Bayley, for instance. Bayley came through so clutch for so many people, y'all. So clutch. I can testify towards that because during feuds, that color gem bonus for the color turn, she just destroyed people. She bodied people, and it was like 1-2 punch. They're down. Then they also had other bonuses for other waifus, like Ronda Rousey, for instance. Ronda Rousey had a crazy freaking bonus where literally at the beginning of every match, there was a 75% chance for black gems to be on the board. And I'm just putting this out there. If you used Ronda Rousey during that time and you had legend striker Ricky Steamboat Black Belt on her, who allowed for a bigger chance for black gems to be on the initial board, you were getting crazy Zawacardos during this duration of the contest. It was absolutely beast mode. We had an all-women all-waifu feud as well. This was definitely a solid little contest. And even after the conclusion, even if you weren't able to unlock Beth, even if you didn't get her at 4-star, look, you probably walked away with enough shards of her that when she comes back later on during other banners in the future, you could possibly recruit her then and there at 3-star gold guaranteed. So just hold on to the shards. Obviously, you have no choice until you obviously recruit her. But, just hold on. Pick your spots when you would decide to go back in, and to know that they left it permanent for Bayley to be fused up to 4-star silver is definitely a good look. A free-to-play unit who was given to us during a piss-poor MLC with Spring in the Ring, but she got her comeuppance here, definitely deserved it, and she shined. She shined during this contest. There's no way around it. That feud was, the clash of the huggable ones, so to speak. But seeing Beth finally enter the game too, that was definitely a solid nod for sure, because she did do a lot during the time that she was wrestling. So this was also a pretty fun contest, and that was the most important thing. And mad resources and rewards from those milestones, both from the solo and the faction. Now, following this, we got a brand new league tier. We could finally go up to tier 16, but they also decided to do something here too, because the Royal Rumble tours on the road, that's some in-game content for sure. That's saying it lightly, saying that nicely, okay? But no lie, they decided with this new improvement, this new addition, that they were going to split it off where you had to be in tier 15 or higher, I believe, so you can do the Royal Rumble Road Tour. And I understand some people were upset about this, but I looked at it like this. I think back to when I was playing Pokemon Red and Blue. Back in the day, the only way that you could go up against the Elite Four at the Indigo Plateau, the only way you could even enter that, go through Victory Road and go up against Red at the very end, right? The only way that you were going to be able to do that is by getting all 8 gym badges first. You had to prove that you were worthy. You had to put your work in. So getting to tier 15 is the same way. It's basically like you got to go through the motions. You got to do what you got to do to properly prep yourself, in game and mentally outside the game for the fuckery to come. So when you reach tier 15 finally, okay, I hit all these objectives. I got all the rewards from completing these missions. I have earned the right to partake. I have earned my right to sit at the grown-up table this Thanksgiving. You understand me? No more times at the kiddie table. It's time to put in that work. But get ready for sometimes you might want to throw your phone, you know what I mean, or break your tablet, but don't do that because then you won't be able to play the game. But nonetheless, though, the rewards waiting for you in the Royal Rumble tours are definitely worth it, and I understand some people might be frustrated, but it's at least letting you know, like, hey, you're not ready yet. It doesn't matter how many 4-stars you got laying around or whatever, keep building up your resources, RESPECT, your TPCT, and when the day comes where you can cross over and enter this wasteland known as the Royal Rumble Road, hope and pray that you got everything locked and loaded to go to war, because it's certainly not going to be an easy fight right from the jump. But having a new league tier gets people excited. It lets people know, hey, I've invested. I look forward to seeing what other tier rewards we get as we move forward. We're at 16. Who knows how high up we're going to go with these tiers. And it also makes me look forward to what other future content we might get. We might possibly, they might say, oh, Royal Rumble's it. No more tours on the road anymore after that. Who's to say we don't get a WrestleMania road tour? Who's to say we don't get anything else? SummerSlam, Survivor Series, anything's possible. But a new league tier had a lot of people happy, especially those who were sitting there patiently waiting to move up after maxing out the tier that they were already in. So it was definitely a solid nod. But then we moved on into our next contest, and this brought forth Attitude Era technician Mankind, Mr. Socko. Now, I'm not going to lie to y'all. This was a showdown tournament contest. And you had a chance to get them through the bags. Same way we've had these opportunities with former champions when they were released. And you had solid rewards. Showdowns are definitely a part of content, a piece of content that everyone should be doing, whether free to play or pay to play, whether in top 100 factions or unranked. This is definitely something that you should be doing. There's no way around that. Having the opportunity to get resources from the Showdown shop alone should be more reason to entice you. Having the chance to walk away with boatloads of coins and resources and tokens and free champions that you might not have on your roster yet. That's more than enough. You know, you might not be spending money on pulls and everything, but hey, you can get free units, free champions from the certain milestones if you get high enough, and some of those champions could benefit you and change everything for your roster moving forward, so you can play a bigger role in your faction and also get to cover more ground when it comes to content overall, from MLCs to just the normal daily tour grinds to the road. The point is, Showdown should never be missed out. But this was definitely an interesting one, because this was one of those where you had to go all in on. Some sacrifice had to be made. My boy David boy, I was weeping alongside you, my boy, when I saw that video after you did everything you need to do, all the resources that were invested, and the way it ended for you. Man, I was like the Michael Jordan meme. I was crying tears for you, and they weren't tears of joy, bro. But we try, and we move on. But with this contest, it was actually very fascinating. It was definitely interesting because Mankind is one of those Attitude Era founding fathers, in a sense. He played a big role during the beginning part. He had some very solid moments during that era. So people wanted a solid top notch Mick Foley. And I'm not gonna lie to you, okay? Cactus Jack is pretty fun. Dude Love is very fun unit, and he was one of the very first trophy characters in the game. Fun fact there. And the deranged Mankind had people messed up, because some people don't even remember that he debuted as that Mankind, okay? But I was hoping that he was going to get this gear instead to make the Showboat Mankind viable. But instead, they went ahead and made some money off of this and gave us the Attitude Era tech. And this is definitely, in my opinion, the best version of Mick Foley, hands down. But what they did here was also pretty cool. You got a brand new broken technician unit, because techs are a little lackluster. They got a couple juggernauts in there, but they needed someone else to enter the fray to be like, yo, respect Team Green, okay? And this Mankind definitely delivered on that. But they also made it interesting too, because before this contest even got started, they updated the abilities, the trainer abilities, for all three other variants of Foley. So Dude Love, Attitude Era Striker; Cactus Jack, Attitude Era Trickster; and Mankind, Attitude Era Showboat, all got like updated 9K trainer abilities. So 4-star bronze, they got new abilities. They even ran store offers so that you could buy the fuse up to get them to 4-star. There was money to be made here, because again, Foley is a fan favorite. A lot of people like him, but we had the contest, we got him here, and they also did something pretty dope. They updated the tag link ability between Mankind and Trickster Rock, the great one, Attitude Era Trickster Rock, that is. And it's a broken ability, because I believe beforehand they had something where either they generated more black gems or it was you match black and it gave you a boost to your black MP, but they switched it when Tech Mankind came in, and this is just OP here. It's definitely a tag link that I was like, yo, this is absolutely busted when you think about it. Bleed moves do 15k additional bleed damage per turn. Now, being that Tech Mankind is able to bleed you out, plus he can hit you with a finisher that turns columns into botch gems, that's problematic already. But if you're able to spam the bleeds, cycle his moves off so he can get the bleed and stack it, tag in Great One Rock or do a vice versa. Have Rock in first, double up on his bleed moves, and then tag Mankind in, your opponents are going to be bleeding like stuck pigs. And it's just the amount of damage was crazy from what I was able to see from gameplay. And it was just a cool nod to see Mankind pop up a new version, a busted Mick Foley variant. The others were fun, but this was, in my opinion, the best version of him. Solid showdown tournament. Obviously, there were some situations, like I mentioned earlier, you had to go the distance to try to get to that final milestone, but it was still a fun thing. Updated abilities were there. So, solid contest. Not the best, but not the worst either. Then, this is when the wallets really had to be opened up. Like, wallets were already opened up right out of the gate. You already knew people were going to be buying the 2-star, 3-star packs to get Carmella up. You already knew people were going to do the kickoff Mega Superstar loopholes to try to get a higher rarity of Carmella. Shout out to my boy Covenanted, who actually got her at 4-star gold. What's up, my boy? Peace and blessings your way. And this is when it got real, like on Seven Deadly Sins gluttony type stuff here, okay? This is when it got real greedy because we had a brand new contest, another one, where basically it was another faction contest where everyone, solo and faction contest, where everyone in your faction had a chance to get Godfather. Now this one was a feud, just like we had with Beth and Bayley. This one was a feud. So we had Bayley and Beth with the feud. We had Tech Mankind with the showdown. Then we got another feud, and this one was with the Godfather. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. This was a solid contest as well. This one also gave some updated abilities because then they gave Vince McMahon, the chairman Attitude Era Striker, a brand new trainer ability at 5-star bronze because he's best friends with the Godfather when it comes to getting that loot box gem damage, getting pretty OP broken, okay? And then they even gave a new ability to IRS. And a lot of people might be mad about it, but look, you can basically get a Silver League 4-star IRS. I believe up to 4-star silver, possibly. Yeah, so him getting a 4-star ability when you're basically able to get that 4-star fuse of him or get him brand new at 4-star for free, be humble. Not the hands down, not a solid champion in the slightest, but he has his perks with his training ability and his tag team with Tech Legend $1 Million Man. Nonetheless, I digress. We saw the updates to them with their trainer abilities in Vince and IRS. And then we had a faction feud where you got bonus points for using Godfather, using Vince, using IRS, using DiBiase as well. And this was one that kind of made people mad because literally the only way that you were really going to get to the final milestone was by already having Godfather. Even though they were giving people shards for Godfather, they had to loot up again, just like Beth and Bayley. And I'm not going to lie to you, y'all. From what I saw, I don't know if it was a glitch or not. A lot of people were able to pull Godfather, just like they were actually able to pull enough shards to either fuse up Bayley or recruit Beth. So the RNG was on a lot of people's side. Not everybody, but there was a solid minority of players that were able to walk away with these units when it was said and done, and they didn't have to go that crazy deep in with disposable income. And Godfather, in my opinion, I say it now, hands down, the best solo farming unit. Like, there are other units, tag teams, when you use like show links and everything, that can farm all day easy with a breeze. But Godfather, in my opinion, is definitely turning the entire board into loot gems, basically guarantees you max loot. So definitely was worth going after, but knowing that the only way you were going to basically complete the contest was by having all the required superstars, including Godfather, and looking at the huge gap, you literally had to be spending mad disposable income to reach it. Mad disposable income to reach it. And so it was a little lackluster, but the uh, medals and the straps that we were able to get during this definitely worked out. I was able to get a lot of the Make It Rain medals, and instead of using them on Godfather, I equipped them to my Tech DiBiase, and oh my god, it makes him hit like a freaking freight train. It's ridiculous how broken those medals are once you get them properly leveled up and tiered up. But all in all, when it was all said and done, I missed out on Godfather here, but I saw a lot of people pull him the same way that I saw a lot of people pulling Beth Phoenix. So couldn't really argue with it. At the end, I was happy to see people walking away with these units. And again, farming is a key part of this game. People might not want to admit it because they like, oh, just do this and do that. Yeah, there's more to it. You can get your resources from milestones. You can get your resources from the prize wall showdown. There's many ways to get your resources, but guess what? You need to stockpile everything. So just guaranteeing, just holding on to good faith for the guaranteed stuff from your efforts, your faction's efforts, and the like what's there, that's cool. But it's always best to think ahead, especially knowing where we're headed now with an official permanent 5-star meta. It's best to have a lot of everything than have a little bit of each, and hoping and praying it all pays out in the end. So kudos to everyone who walked away with Godfather. It was just a shame how they set it up with that final milestone, and literally the only way you were maxing it out was having everybody required, including Godfather himself. So they basically wanted you to do as many pulls as possible. But it is what it is. Solid resources when it was all said and done. And once again, from the contest milestones. But not the best, but was blatant in your face. Oh, you got to spend some money to get this one. Unless, of course, you already had Godfather recruited and you were just sitting on shards for him with this one. Now, following this, here we go. Another blatant pay-to-win contest. Now, this was the introduction of Hall of Fame trickster Steve Austin. There isn't really much to say here because you already know how it goes when it comes to Hall of Fame units, and if you don't, allow me to make you aware. Basically, the only way you're getting the milestones cleared here is by doing pulls for that said character and hopefully recruiting him or her. And when it comes to the Hall of Fame units, it's true RNG. The scope gods are either going to bless you or they're not, like any gotcha game. But the rates seem to be a lot worse when it comes to these champions because they're supposed to be the be-all, end-all. And after seeing the exclusive gameplay on him, he is a fun unit, but I definitely don't think he was someone that people should have been going all in on for. But hey, you can walk away with a lot of ingots that can be used to help you get some crucial resources. Maybe you need some coins, maybe you need some TP, and those are guaranteed compared to the superstar that you may or may not get. You might get shards of him, you might pull him easy, but this was one of those things like right after the Godfather situation, it was like, okay, now we're in that groove of like, more than likely this MLC is going to conclude with us just having to spend disposable income to get the things we want. But the cool thing about Hall of Fame champions, just like any other content really, it's optional. No one is forcing you to pull for Austin. It's literally a thing of if you're a fan of Austin and go for him. And a lot of people just got to get kicked the habit of, oh, new banner up, I got to pull. Sometimes you don't always have to pull on everything or pull for everyone. Sometimes it's cool to just diversify your roster and get the people that you really want. And that's how it went with Austin. Point blank, blatant, obvious pay-to-win scenario, but to each his own. That's everyone's different cup of tea right there on what you sipping on. Now, following this is where things also got a little out of hand. So I'm just going to try to wrap this up because we are nearing the end of this. Now, when it came to the Awaken the Dragon contest, we finally saw the official launch of Acrobat legend Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Top tier unit. However, this was so convoluted, I don't even know where to begin. Because let me break this down to you. The lead up to this contest was already pay to play central here. Because they literally had, before this contest dropped, before he was even in the game, they already had like back to back IGC in-game cash mega superstar loot banners for geared up champions. I believe they had a geared up Andrade loot. They had a geared up Hollywood Hogan loot, a Rey Mysterio loot, basically a Bray Wyatt the Fiend loot. Anybody who had a gear, their IGC loot banner was up and available. It was just back to back. Each day you logged in, you had the 15K IGC offers. It was just right in your face, like pull. And again, I can't control what people do. And a lot of those units are some solid units that would change anyone's life. And the minimum was pulling a 3-star to a 4-star. So you had a chance of getting something depending on where your roster was. So like if you were a new player and you had $100 laying around and you said, okay, I'm going to pull, you were at least walking away with a guaranteed 3-star when it was all said and done. Might get some shards of others, but you were at least walking away with a guaranteed 3-star. And I believe they even had one for Keith Lee as well and Drew McIntyre. But the point was, you had a solid rotation of IGC Mega Superstar loot banners before the contest even started for Dragon. That's what baffled me. It was like, we're already draining your money a whole week. And the thing that baffled me, that got me even more, is like all the units that they were using for these Mega Superstar banners are pretty good units. These are units that you should have like dropped in the middle of each month. The way you should have, because of how good these guys and girls were, these characters should have literally been like exclusive to each month of the year. No, a whole week rotation. And even once the contest went live with Steamboat, you still had them paired up. Like you literally had Steamboat's banner up, a IGC Mega Superstar banner for geared up Hollywood Hogan, and you had the MLC week banner. So it was just pay to play central. They wanted you to spend your money one way or the other. And they even came up with some crazy offers in the store. And I just feel like that just devalued the whole contest. Then they had a situation where we had another conflict where people were actually able to max out the contest for the Awaken the Dragon. They were able to max out the contest in minutes because something happened where I guess they were able to get the shards. Everyone just went all in right when the game reset and the tours were available. Everyone just went in. They just went in and got all the shards and they just maxed out their contest. So then it got taken down. During this time too, what made things even worse is that literally not only did the contest mess up, they literally had the tours up, they had the banner up, but they forgot to put the coins in the store. So then it had to get taken down again. Then people had literally raped the system and then it got taken down. Then, but even before this contest launched, the tours for the MLC had all been reset to 0. So literally people were thinking, oh, they've reset the tours. So maybe we can go and use some auto clear tickets or even beat the nodes again and we'll get rewards. Nothing. And up to this point, I don't even think that they even fixed it. They sent out some reimbursements for us. They gave us some 100 auto clear tickets and 300 health packs. But this whole contest was just so messed up. And then the gap between the milestones, it went from when they first launched, it looked like people had a chance. But then because people took advantage and maxed out the contest, when they brought everything back up again, it was basically Mission Impossible. It literally made it so boring. It made it not even worth investing in doing the tours or doing the blitzes. It was just a joke. And I really feel like Steamboat deserved better respect than this, but they just drilled it in your head. We just want your money. Literally, they were so fast to put the tours up. literally, the tour wasn't up the first time. Then they put the tour up. They had the Mega Superstar Loop banner up, but then the coins were missing in the store. Then it was just a clusterfuck. It was just a clusterfuck. It was utterly ridiculous, and I'm glad that it's over. But to know that literally they launched this contest knowing full well that they didn't even fix the SummerSlam party tours. It just showed you where they were. They could make it right for all them IGC Mega Superstar Loop banners to come in and out, but they couldn't fix the LT tours for the MLC, and it just had me like just baffled. And I guess because of how everything went with the Beth and Bailey situation, we had a faction contest again with this one, but they removed the lockbox situation for us to get shards and stuff. So it just messed everything up. It was just such a debacle. That's the best way to say it. And it's a shame because Steamboat's a fun unit. Definitely a solid unit. Incredible ability to use for your roster. Just such a shame that the opportunity was wasted there. And then here we go. Another pay-to-win situation, so it's not even that hard to discuss this one. Same way with Austin, except this time, instead of it being Hall of Fame Trickster Austin, it's Hall of Fame Tech Nikki. And it should have been expected. Bella's both Hall of Fame. Brie was first as a showboat. Nikki is the Tech. If you wanted her, you went after her. Pay-to-win scenario. No faction contest there. Solo dolo. If you didn't walk away with her, maybe you walked away with enough ingots that you've been saving up from all your prior Hall of Fame pulls, and you were able to walk away with some solid resources from the HOF prize wall. Aside from that, nothing special. And then the final thing that we got for this MLC was the Flash Feud series. And I mean, it was cool because we were getting offered different types of situations. The final feud, you had a chance of getting Luke Gallows at a certain star rarity, depending on how high or low you ranked in the top 100. Basically, if you finished in the top 100, you were guaranteed Gallows. You also had chances of getting shards for next big thing: Brock Lesnar, Woken Matt Hardy, and Stinger Sting. There were 4 feuds altogether. This was kind of also a hit and miss because certain people would be up, others wouldn't be. And on top of that, just depending on your time zone, you could have easily missed this. And life happens. Not everyone's able to commit full time to each one of these feuds. Props to those that did. How you're still awake and moving, kudos to you. I know that I tried I ended up missing out on a feud because literally I was so exhausted from I missed out on feud 3 because I stayed up to do feud 2, and then I thought that I was going to get up in time to like rest up after it concluded. I slept through my alarm and everything and missed out on feud 3, and then I tried to make things work for feud 4, but I was at work. Things just happen, man. Things genuinely just happen. It that's flash feuds for you. You know, I'm not mad at this one because at least it wasn't a thing of like, oh, feud 4 is going ahead of feud 3, or oh, we're about to get a break, and then oh, never mind, another feud started. And the rewards were solid. You were able to walk away with some solid medals and some shards for superstars. Maybe you didn't have, or you were close to unlocking or fusing up or something. Couldn't really argue with it. But flash feuds, they're fun. They are fun, but some things you get to the point where like feuds aren't the same as they used to. I honestly think a lot of the top tier feud like faction feud factions, I think they're either doing it just to get those boosts, those monthly boosts, like to the HP and their damage. You know, that's a good look, especially when you're doing MLC content. You know, that helps out a lot, having an HP boost and having your additional damage. And then outside of that, maybe you need a solid fuse to use for a kickoff talent up, the tokens, the resources. I still feel that faction feud rewards should be improved and upgraded, because now that we're in the realm in the land of 5 stars, definitely need better resources for your efforts, especially when you're committing such amount of times towards it. But at the end of the day, I enjoyed SummerSlam Party. Tours, you already know how it is now. I've gotten accustomed to, getting a hell mode. Certain requirements might piss you off. People strapped up to death, even if you left out on doing the tours, guess what? You go to the road and do the Royal Rumble if you're able to do it. You're going up against strapped up opponents. So it's the norm now. I've just learned to come to terms with just do what you do and have fun. Do as many blitzes as you can. If you feel like investing in the 3-star pack, do what you got to do. If you feel like going all in on certain blitzes, do what you have to. Same with feuds, same with showdown. Do the content that you enjoy the most and contribute to your faction as well as your own endeavors as an individual. A lot of fun units were released. I mean, Beth Phoenix, very fun and exciting powerhouse, in my opinion. Tech Mankind, solid technician, solid addition to the technician class. Both Hall of Fame Nikki and Austin, they look cool. I just can't really get too hyped for them. I know there's going to end up being some other additions. We might very well see a Hall of Fame X-Pac. We very well might see it because he's a member of DX when they got inducted. We might see that. A Hall of Fame Hogan. We can see that. Hall of Fame Nash. There's a lot of opportunities there. There's definitely a lot of opportunities for other Hall of Fame pay-to-win situations to come. I applaud. The one thing that I really did enjoy most is I like seeing more faction solo contest combinations when it comes to those type of events. The Awaken the Dragon was a huge miss. Huge miss. But I did enjoy the fact that if everyone came together and did their part, you were basically getting the chance to double dip. A lot of people like the double dip scenarios in Champions because you get to walk away with more resources, more rewards, not only for your own solo efforts, but to know that your efforts are going towards it. Just like how MLC works, right? You got your solo milestones, but then you got the faction side of things, and it all comes together. It all ties in. So you feel good about knowing that your efforts didn't go to waste, and you know that you can trust your brothers and sisters in your faction to carry their weight, and you can walk away with solid resources afterwards. And they definitely did that here 4 times over, because like I said, the SummerSlam party, the SummerSlam party MLC contest. You got your opportunities there to get mad resources when it came to the points. Then you had the Beth and Bailey contest. You also had the Godfather contest, and you also had the Awaken the Dragon. So you have 4 shots within this MLC, and let alone the Showdown tournament. So technically 5 faction feuds too. That would make it 6. I like it when you actually have contests that really have everyone come together. And it was just sad how a lot of things were poorly executed. Great ideas for sure, just executed and carried in a poor manner. And you can't get a refund on that. You can't rewind time and make things better. I am going to say I was very disappointed. Highly disappointed in the way that they handled everything with the reset of the tours, man. Like, that was, I don't understand why they didn't just initially fix that. And yeah, 100 auto clear tickets. Now, if you're a free to play champion and you don't have VIP, I would say hold on to those auto clear tickets. Hold on to them. Use them wisely. But the health packs, like I said, you need health packs. Without health packs, you can't go. It doesn't matter unless you got everything set up where you can right out of the gate with perks and everything, turn 1, turn 2 people, and then rest your champions. Health packs are crucial, especially when you're doing blitzes, especially when you're doing your feuds and your showdown grinds. A lot of grind-heavy content in Champions. So health packs are definitely beneficial outside of course, faction heals when it comes to tokens there. But this MLC, I wouldn't say it was the greatest. Like, to me personally, I still feel that the Masters of the WWE Universe MLC was hands down one of the best MLCs ever. Hands down, how they laid everything out. And yes, they had their debacle with the Powerhouse Macho Man Blitz and everything. And the same thing with Tech Taker. Everything was there were hits and misses. Nobody's perfect. I just feel like I like the overall experience of the faction solo tandem situation throughout the MLC. I was disappointed by the bugs and the glitches. Like, for instance, like the new tier league bracket, that was dope. But I'm having a whole lockbox fiasco that happened with the Beth and Bailey contest that could have easily been prevented by Scope Lane Champions. They make so much money. I don't know why that we still have these different bugs that are affecting the game. Even during the feuds, people were having problems where it would kick them out of matches. So people's best units were killed immediately, and people had certain things popping up in the screen when it had nothing to do with it. I remember a couple times where I was in the middle of a fight and it was saying, "Sorry, you can't watch a video," and I'm like, dude, I'm not even watching a video. I'm just trying to feud. But nonetheless, solid free-to-play MLC unit in Carmella. Solid prize world champion. A lot of good units were introduced during this MLC. I really like the teamwork emphasis this month. I really like the emphasis on teamwork makes the dream work. I usually say that all the time, but a lot of these contests, I'm not even doing this to throw shade. I'm just being realistic because it's just being honest. This was the type of MLC that made you look to your people and to be like, do I trust you? Like, I know I can go all in. I'm willing to do my part, but are y'all willing to do the same? So I got a feeling like after the conclusion of this MLC, I feel a lot of people might be finding new homes. Because a lot of these contests that came throughout had a big portion of that teamwork on like, yo, like, I'm doing my part. Are you going to follow through with yours? And I'm just saying, man, depending on how things are, if you're in a laid-back faction, you ain't got nothing to worry about because you're not really worried about stuff like that, you know? But if you're someone who's trying to grow and build and you got higher expectations for not only yourself, but the people you surround yourself with, and you got let down, I would be up in arms about where I want to go to. But some people can work things out, and pieces and parts to the machine can always be replaced, and the machine can keep on going. That's anywhere in life. That's just like any business, You might leave, they'll find someone else to replace you. You might go somewhere else, and where somewhere else they said that, hey, you were the worst player. You go there, you're reborn. You got a new purpose. But this was definitely a MLC where it was a lot of teamwork. It was a lot of trust needed for everyone to do their part. And I enjoyed that. I like that kind of situation that puts it on you like, I got to do my part. I have to contribute one way or the other. Where I fall, I know one of my brothers and sisters is going to pick up the slack. And then I can make things right with this upcoming showdown. Or I can make things right with this upcoming contest here. I can spend disposable income here. I just got to make sure that someone is going to reimburse what I spend so it's worth it at the end. So, this was a solid one. I'm giving it 2 thumbs up. But there were a lot of issues here. A lot of issues that could have easily been evaded. A lot of issues that are champions in. It was their fault. Should have been no excuse for those LT tours to reset. Hopefully we don't deal with that with Clash of Champions. There was no reason for the lockbox debacle with the Bailey and Beth thing. The milestones in the Awaken the Dragon contest shouldn't have been made that huge of a gap difference. Shouldn't have. Definitely shouldn't have. Now, there was also a Cash Me If You Can contest that was running during those Mega Superstar banners, the IGC banners, that I forgot to mention. Solid resources there. But again, either you were sitting on a huge reservoir of IGC already, or you were spending money to get those 15K IGC packs, to do pulls when you could have been upgrading and stockpiling your resources to help you out in the end game. But nonetheless, okay contest. Not the best, not the worst, but it seemed to get worse near the end. It started out strong, and then at the end, it just seemed to collapse. So solid start, horrible finish. So with that being said, y'all, sorry for this being very long. Bad times don't last, but champions do. Let's talk this out in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you rock with this type of content, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can be aware of future videos to come from the channel. And mad love to each and every single one of you of my beloved hashtag champions fam. How far did you take up Carmella? Did you walk away with Shawn Michaels and his gear? And again, about his gear, the thing that got me about this is if Champions was going to do what they did, I would have warned people ahead of time. But basically, they had his gear in the prize wall. But for the Flash feuds, they went ahead and basically offered his gear as a reward from the faction contest. So if you maxed out the faction contest, you walked away with Shawn's gear for free. From everyone's contributions, that is. Everyone basically walked away like Oprah. You get a car, you get a car. Everyone gets a car, right? Basically, that's how it was with the gear. And that was a piss poor move because a lot of players had already invested their MLC currency on the prize wall to purchase the gear. So it was kind of like, if you had just told us ahead of time, then we would have just held off on spending the gear, the currency price, and invested in other resources instead. And then it's the whole thing now of like, oh, I already bought his gear, and then my faction cleared the contest, and now I got more gear. Well, a second gear that I can't even use because I already bought it. I pray that they don't do that during Clash of Champions. I pray they don't do that moving forward. If you're going to be like that, I literally just say this for your safety. Just hold on to everything until the end. Hold on to everything until the end, and then make your purchase before the MLC concludes. If the prize wall doesn't get taken out early like they've done in the past. But nonetheless, play safe, y'all. Hope you enjoyed the video. This MLC was solid. Wasn't the best. Wasn't the worst. Started out strong. Horrible finish. Could have been a lot better with the delivery of certain things. And a lot of the issues that came from this, contest content was on Scopely's side. It was their fault. It could, because the money that they're making could easily resolve this. They need a better support team. They need a better tech team to stay on top of these things, because these type of bugs and glitches were just utterly ridiculous. And I feel so bad for all those people who were going back, clearing out all those tours, thinking they were getting double up rewards, and walked away with nothing, putting yourself through the gauntlet once more, wasting valuable time you can't get back on content that shouldn't even have been glitched out, and then to still launch another contest and then have problems with that contest when it came to the Dragon Steamboat's release. It was just a bad situation. But with that being said, y'all, sorry for holding y'all for as long as I did. It is what it is with the time, but I'm glad that I got to spend time talking to each and every single one of you. Let's chop it up in the comments below, and let's get ready for Clash of Champions. Let's prepare to take a trip across the pond and rock out with the NXT UK fam. So until next time, stay tuned. Peace.